All right, series number 6, play number 2 here, guys. So he has a 1st and 15. If you remember on the last play, he hit that big corner route for a big 20-yard gain. Well, in between this play and that, he got himself a delay of game penalty for 5 yards. So he's starting off in a bunch set here with this play. I'm in a 4-3 running the outside linebacker fire. I've set my linebackers both wide here, usually to get a barrel effect here or a twist game. So you tend to, well, actually, excuse me, he goes there and he goes there. So I like that against the offensive line there. Now looking at it, I'm also running 0 behind it. So basically each of these guys has a man. My middle linebacker has him. What he's running here is pretty simple. It's a toss play to the left, to the strong side here, to his bunch side. So he's going to get basically boom, 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 maybe a guard pull and a reach block right there. And he's just going to get as many yards as he can. Now, looking at it as far as numbers go, if this was a good decision for him to go to the left here, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go ahead and count the receivers because obviously he's a bunch that is all tight. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can count him as a 1 in this case because he's stacked over the center. He's not shaded to this side at all. And then with this D lineman who's actually in the gap. Alright, so it's really a 7 versus 5, or if you don't want to count this guy, it's a 6 versus 5. Either way, I'm in good shape. If we look backside here, if you went the opposite way with it, 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either way, not a very good play to run against this defense. Now, if he can somehow get all these guys hooked on this side, then it can be huge. But it's very difficult to do. So we'll go ahead and run through this real quick, though, and then we'll talk about it. So as you can see, he gets the guard pull there. He gets one guy blocked, 2 guys blocked, but there's 1 guy free. And then as you can see here, I'm free here, too. So I'm coming through here. He's got over the top here, even though there is a blocker coming. If he does his job right, even though this is a big boy who should be able to blow him out, he can submarine it to force him to cut back. And that's pretty much what he does. He doesn't get blown out, he doesn't submarine it, but he's able to stalemate it. And of course, you can see the back here runs right into his lineman, so he has nowhere to go. Now the bad thing is I overrun it, as you can see right there. So does my other guy here who beat his blocker. But we get enough of him, and he's hemmed up enough there for the rest of my pursuit to get there to make a play. And I think he only gets like 2 yards on that play. Yeah, so 2nd and 13 there. So as far as anything else we could have done here, now he could have audibled and probably hit something with the passing game, or run inside even, because even though the outsides are pretty well flanked on either side, you can see how spread out it is in here. He could run a dive, something quick hitting, like that, and with this getting a combo block here, something to that effect. He could hit something in here quick for a good 4 or 5 yards. Now that wouldn't be a bad play. The other thing is obviously going pass and attacking crossing routes, especially with this bunch where you have all this misdirection stuff going. But as far as making cutbacks and stuff, I didn't see a cutback really. No, obviously, look, everybody's free here. And then this guy just does a good job. Well, he's free. There's nobody to block him until that lineman gets there. And he does a good job of standing up the lineman in this case. So, myself, I did everything pretty well here. I did overrun the play a bit. So I'll go ahead and give myself the 0 for that. So in this play, it's a 1-point play for me because obviously we have play success. We hold them to under 4 yards. And there's no big play. Obviously, I don't make a sack or a big hit for a loss or anything. But we get the job done. So it's a 1-point play. Like I said, I'm going to take away my point for doing my job, even though I flowed really well there. Obviously, I overran it. But we were able to make enough contact there to get help coming. So 1-point play on this. All right, play number 3 here, guys. Series number 6. He went no huddle here, so he's staying with that bunch set to the left. Of course, that means I'm going no huddle, so I'm staying with my offense. The difference is I'm running outside linebacker fire, but I've decided to keep my guys in this case as opposed to bringing them to the outsides. So obviously running the same defense that I was running against his offense. What he's running here is a bootleg. Bootleg is basically a play action pass. Means the quarterback is going to make his play fake, and then he's going to roll away from where he faked the ball, where he faked the run at. And on the backside here, he gets himself a post corner or a slant corner. If I remember right, this guy's going to stay in the block. This guy here is going to work his way across the field on a dig route, and he's going to run a shallow cross. Now I have 0 coverage, which means everybody's man-to-man across the board. There's no help deep. So crossing routes, whether it's the deep one or the shallow, should eventually get open. What I'm hoping for is I get pressure or the sack before he gets that ball off, or force him to make a bad throw with pressure. So let's go ahead and run through this and see what happens, and we'll discuss. So as you can see, I actually widen out my ends there just a little bit, and in hopes of keeping contain. So he gets a play fake. I stick with my guys. You can see right there. Right now, everybody's covered. Scandrick does a really good job on that cornerback. Now here's the problem. Wilcox here, it's J.J. Wilcox going against Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is just too good for him. He outruns him, makes a play. Now I do wish he was a little faster, because I do think he can keep up with him speed to speed. I just don't think he could handle him body to body. I think he's going to use his body to beat him there. But in this case, he beats him. It's a crossing route, so like I said, usually I was going to get open on that, and he had plenty of time. As you can see, I actually get good pressure on him. I had 2 guys right there as he throws it, but Russell Wilson, great quarterback, throws very well in the run, throws a perfect pass, and he's able to get himself a good, looks like 16, 17 yards there. So obviously grade-wise, this is a -1. Well, actually, I'm sorry, this is a 0, because I do my job. I stay with my guy. But of course, play success is a 0, and then he gets the big play on me, so that's a negative bonus for me. So it's a -1. As far as what else could I have done to help out here, honestly, with the guy that I was playing, not much else. I had to stay with him. I could have played somewhere else, but that's all hindsight. I don't know what he's calling. This is the first time I think he's called this play the entire game. So, and he hadn't been in this formation. Well, I may have been in the formation, but I don't quite remember right offhand now. So really nothing else I could have done here. I had good pressure here. We just didn't quite get to him in time. He makes a great throw. So like I said, this is a 0 point for the grade here.